Good morning, everybody. It is beautiful out here today. Sun's a shining. Temperature is probably about 20 degrees, almost tropical. Anyway, today we're going to work on XR75, but before I get into it, I want to look for a piece of aluminum that will work as a mating plate. I'm thinking a piece of road sign would be perfect. And I have, let me turn the light on here. There we go. I have a whole rack pretty much of little pieces and chunks of metal. I'm looking for something aluminum. As this, I could get it out of here. This would be almost perfect. The problem is that it's ribbed on the inside. So I got to have two flat surfaces that are, smooth. Otherwise, the plan's not going to work. I got a lot of steel. I thought I had a little piece of road sign. Well, I won't bug you guys or make you guys watch me paw through all my junk, but that's what I'm going to do for a minute. We'll see what we come up with. Okay, guys, check this out. Just about 1/8 of an inch thick, maybe a little bit thinner. I knew I had a piece of it laying around here. My daughter decided that she would color on it. I don't care. It was frozen to the floor, but it's almost a perfect size to carve a flange out of, and that should give us a good mating. And it's not very thick. You guys can see it's pretty thin, and it's flat on both sides. I think that's going to be the answer. So we will now go back down cellar where it's a touch warmer and work on making the flange. Okay, guys, what we got here is the flange and a piece of aluminum that I scarfed from the garage. We're down cellar now, and I got my bandsaw put back together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of rough out a shape. Actually, I wonder if I should go this way. Let's go this way. You know why? Because if I screw up, I got enough aluminum to make another one. So that's probably a pretty smart idea, right? Not like I'm going to screw it up, but I actually probably will. So I think we got a line on that. You guys probably can't see it. Maybe you can. But that's the piece we're going to cut out. And we're going to do that on the bandsaw. So this is a wood cutting bandsaw, and they'll tell you that you can't cut aluminum on it. You can. I just put a brand new bimetal blade on it. It has a 4-inch pulley and a 2-inch pulley. I'm actually going to increase that to a 6-inch pulley, or yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get to an 8-inch. If I could get to an 8-inch, it would actually probably be slow enough to do what I needed to do, but it'll work. You just need to go slow. Aluminum will fill up your blade fast, so we may run into problems, but we'll give her a try. Tighter on that bend, but it cut really nice. Couple relief cuts. Okay, I think that looks pretty decent. As you can see, there's even still a smiley face from my daughter scribbled on it. So we'll clean this up a little bit and get it ready to get some holes punched in it. Okay guys, this is what we come up with for the solution here to clean this up. Basically, what I have here is the piece of aluminum. I already tried it out. I've got a piece of 80 grit on here, and we're just gonna grind this paint or whatever it is off here. We'll see how that works. So it's a little heavy and thick. So. There's one side of it. Looks pretty good. Man, I am whacking my knuckles on everything today. There we go. There, we even got a battle scar. Look at that. Got it good. So, and then I cut my finger too. So, this still has a little green on it. Okay. So, that's what we come up with. Just a little flat plate. It's less than 1/8 of an inch. It's probably closer to a 1/16. Okay, and I'm bleeding all over it. So let me go take care of my boo-boo, and then we'll be back. Okay, we got the Band-Aid all put back on. Fingers are not chopped off, even though I did boo-boo this one. And I laid that one open pretty good. So we caught that on camera. So, you know, hey, give me a blood and guts comment. You know, tell me stop being stupid. And see, even got blood on them. Blood on the aluminum. I guess you got to put some blood in them to make them run. Okay, guys, we got you over here on the old drill press. This old machine here is another junkyard find. A buddy of mine, where I get a lot of my scrap metal, he's got to be close to 80 years old now. He used to get a lot of good stuff in the scrap, and this head, the head was in the head here was in the trash, and it's you guys can see it's an old Rockwell, and we plugged it in. The cord is still a little ratty. I mean, you guys can see here, she's kind of needs a new cord, but I electrical taped it, made it kind of look halfway okay. But it's been like this for years, and it works pretty good. So anyway, I think there's the drill bit. So you guys will be right about there. What I've done here is I've put a couple pencil marks. You guys can see those where I think those holes should be drilled. And if they're too big, I don't care. If they need to be oblonged, we'll go with it. But let's make sure I got enough height here. No, I don't. Got to raise my table up. Raising the table on this is a bit of a challenge because I got to loosen up the bolts. So give me a minute. Okay, we got the table straightened out and raised it up a little bit. It's a little challenging. I usually just put a block of wood under it, but this will work. So let's fire her up, see if she runs. Still goes round and around. Now normally if you're using sheet metal you would want to clamp this. So being this is aluminum, I should be able to walk through it pretty easy. Or not. Yep. Sheet metal would have caught and ripped my finger off. Worse than I already did. So, there's our two holes in it. Let's go see how close we came to getting them where they're supposed to be. I think they're a little bit on the outside, but like I said, if we have to make them a little bigger, we can do that. Or we can chuck them up in the mill, one or the other. So, let's go see what we got. Actually, guys, they're not too bad. Pretty darn close. So I think what I'll do is I'll upsize them just a little bit, just to make life a little bit easier, and we'll go with that. Hey guys, we almost kind of lucked out. The smallest hole saw I got is this one, and here's the hole, and look at that, right. Almost perfect from the outside. I call it perfect. So we lucked out there. That was a good thing. So let me get this set up and see if we can buzz a hole in the center of that plate and get this right where we need her here. Okay, I would have chucked this up in the drill press, and actually I started to do that, but I decided it would probably be safer, being that this thing's like a saw blade, to put it in the mini mill where I got the vise on it and it won't slam around and try to cut my other finger off. So let's see how this works. Whoa, Nelly. I'd say something's crooked. What do you think about that? Did you see that? What is going on here? Maybe it chucked up in there weird? Very odd. That looks better. Huh. Not really sure what happened there. So, let's recheck our placement, which is way out of whack now. I'd say about there. Let's double check that. It's spinning good there. Get this a little more centered up. I already put a small drill hole in there, so hopefully everything looks pretty copacetic. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay. This is tight-ish. That's the only problem with these things. The screw, you can never get it tight enough. Even in aluminum, you see it's catching. Had a little oil here. Let's see if we can actually tighten that up a little bit. See if we can. Where's the screw? Way back here. I put the tightness to her, but just can never seem to get it tight enough. try tightening her up again. Look at it, even spinning right on there. So you can tell how loose it is. They just don't seem to stay tight. I guess there's a special drill bit with a flat side on it. That would probably be the one we'd want to use. But, of course, I don't have that. There. Through. Just hold it on that last part. And it's a little crooked, I think, but I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little off-centered, but not a heck of a lot. I think it'll work. I think the carburetor will probably give enough for us to slide it around. So let's go work on seeing what we got here. So what do you think? Maybe? Maybe not. Okay, as you guys might be able to see, I was off on my hole just a little bit, maybe 1/16 of an inch. But when you line her up, it's smooth down in the bottom here, and it's a little bit bigger. So I think the hole was actually a little bit bigger than the throat. So I'm good with that. It should work just fine. And it's going to catch that O-ring, which is what I want it to do. So, and that'll make the seal, because you see it's got the O-ring. So I think we're pretty close to putting that together. Let's see how that goes. Okay guys, this is what we come up with. Can you see down in there? Okay, you see that? Right there, maybe. I did get it a little bit crooked, but it's smooth. It's just off a little, and it's catching the O-ring. Okay? I never claimed to be a machinist, but I think she'll work. So let's get her mounted up and take a look. I got it all bolted on now. I might have to take it apart. I had to run up to the hardware store and get some bolts. My camera's upside down, so I'm kind of trying to figure that out, but there's new bolts. It's all bolted together with my little spacer plate. So let's see how that works. Okay guys, so what we've got here is the flange on. We also have the rubber flange here, and we're gonna put those together. As you guys can see, they fit pretty tight. Actually, excellent is the way they go together. And then this gets put onto here, and I'll move you up a little bit. Now you guys can actually see here how that goes on, and hopefully everything works. Screws on the top, we can tighten her down. Let's see what it looks like. Let's wrestle it on here. I'll let you guys watch me try to wrestle this on, because it's probably be very challenging to fight it on here. So here we go. We'll put this part on first. We'll pop this air filter cover off. That might give us a little more room. Now remember, I've added a good 1/16 of an inch here, so that could cause issues. Let's double check our choke. Choke is up right now, it's closed, and it's off. So that's working good. That's squished on there about as far as I can squish it on. Clutch cable's giving me a little bit of problem here. Kind of in the way. I just want to make sure that carburetor's pretty much flush up and down. We'll check the choke again. Choke is all the way up, choke is all the way down. Perfect. Got a lot of room there. Now all we got to do is get this little guy onto there without pushing too hard, and we'll see what we get. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bolt this on. I bought when I was up to the hardware store. Someday I got to take you guys up to the hardware store. That'd be a good little trip. Show you how close the hardware store is. It's pretty amazing living where I live, kind of back in the woods. You know, we're right in the bottom southwestern side of the Adirondack Mountains, and it's amazing how close we are to a hardware store. We can be there, and I can be in the hardware store. I think it's less than a mile, and it's a good hardware store. I mean, he's got, and I mean the family's a local family. It's pretty awesome. So let's just snug that up a little bit. Making sure I did not put a new gasket in there, so we may have a problem there. I have not tightened this up yet, but the carburetor looks excellent. I may trim, there's that rubber over here, I'll show you in a second. I may trim that off to make that look even better, but I tell you what, man, she looks almost factory. Okay, now the hard part. Now what we got to do is we got to fight this thing on over the carburetor boot and then up over the screws. So, okay, we're up over the carb. And we got to get her down a little. There we go. Boot. That bolt is on. That bolt is on. There we go. I think we got her, guys. You guys see her? She's on the flange. It's on here. I have not tightened down the bolts yet. There. Now it's definitely on there. Yep. Now it's on. Perfect. The airbox wasn't quite tight. This is good. Double check our choke. Choke is closing, doing everything as it should. I think we got the carb back on her. All we got to do is put the slide back in it, and which is right here. See if we can find the spot she goes in. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Slide down in. So we've put this clone carb on this 1974 with using an $8 flange, and I am having a heck of a time getting this started. Not really sure why. It should go right on. There it goes. And yep, throttle's working. So yeah, that's how it works. All we did is $8 flange, $1.96 for a whole foot of this rubber here. Let me bring you over here so you guys can see that. See that rubber stuff right here? That's the washing machine hose, $1.96 at the same hardware store that I bought the bolts. The flange is a Chinese flange. That's $8. You can get them for $6 I've seen on the auction site. You can get that. The carburetor was, God, what are they, $10? $15.99, something like that. So you can get those really cheap. And the boot is on. She's all good, and the throttle is doing what it's supposed to be doing here. So you guys can see. You can actually even hear it plopping back. So we're good there. I guess next step will be to, we do need to put a hose clamp on here of some sort. They do make the wire clamp, and I might actually spring for the wire clamp, no pun intended, to make that look original, and maybe I'll even do the same thing up here, but for now I don't care. The carburetor is on it, it looks good, and it should do the trick. So I'll get you guys set up, and maybe we'll stop this video here so they don't get so long, and we'll do another video on the electrical side. That makes more sense, right? I think that's a good plan. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, commenting, and subscribing. Y'all rock. Bye. Okay, guys, I'm not making any promises on this, but I'm going to zoom you up on her. Try not to shake. Do you see it? Oh, I shook too much there. Hang on. Focus in, baby.